This pickup has been in for a service, and I'm not absolutely sure what it did. It was only 5,000 miles since the last one, but that was getting on for, well, 18 months ago, certainly more than that probably. But there was an issue. I might have put it off a bit longer. You can't go to 2 years. But the brakes were making funny noises. Well, what I noticed first was that when you press the pedal in, you're getting a sort of pulsing feeling through the pedal, rather like ABS, but it was also tending to come back through the steering wheel a bit. Well, anyway, I thought originally that was probably the pins on the pads just wanted cleaned up or something, because it had only done 13,000 miles. But it turned out that the front pads, on both front discs, were just about on the limit, so they've been changed. But in a way that's almost a good thing, that it's just a routine consumable really. It hasn't anything really gone wrong. I do feel a lot better. They certainly aren't doing the pulsing thing. Although you notice it more with the trailer on. I haven't got that on today, I'm just going to the shops. I thought I'd record it because 10th, is it the 9th of November today, and it's more or less the last of the autumn colours really. They seem to have gone quickly this year. I was expecting to be gone by mid-November, but it's been kind of frosty and windy and wet the last few days. Some are hanging on more than others. The shelter spots not so bad, but it's mainly just the last oak trees, and some of them are still very good, to be fair. It's not the nicest days. We have a bit of sunshine earlier, but it's gone rather cloudy and windy now. You still see blue sky there towards the coast though, look. Anyway, I've been a bit distracted for all this week, because on the Monday we had the first part of the cow's TB test, and then Thursday was checking to see if there was any lumps, and on both occasions they really all had to go through the race, which is always a bit of a performance to say the least. And anyway, today's the Friday after, and after I'd done the test I let them out in the field and they won't come back in. They're traumatised. I think I betrayed the trust, you see, by getting them in the race, not once but twice. So every time you come near them it's conceivably a trap. But they were nearly all in. Half an hour ago there was just some calves and one cow outside, and I went out. I'll just try and encourage them to come in, and all the others came racing out because it wasn't conceivably a trap. It'll soon be, it's going to rain tonight, that's all. I would like to have had them in here. They have spent a few nights in, but not continuously. They've been in 2 or 3 days as well when it was a bit wet. That's where the pickup was, NTR. Not NTR also Tech. Now, it used to be Bolton Garage, it was not easy to remember. I know it's 3 letters, but I keep getting muddled up. MVH for some reason keeps coming to mind. Now I've said that on 3 to increase the strength of that one. But anyway, it's nice to get the TB test done. That's it for 4 years here. We don't have to worry about it again. it's quite a long time between beyond the maximum at very low risk. And needless to say, none of them reacted. But my herd is like a closed herd, never buy anything in. So it's as good as it can be really for low risk. We could never rule out something happening unexpectedly. And the obvious thing is a neighbour getting one for whatever reason. And even though they aren't supposed to get together, there's always the odd time. I remember one of mine got in with Mark's next door a couple of years ago. It happens from time to time. I was having a bit of a resurgence of interest in this GoPro. Not actually done much of it yet, but I was just realising that actually the video from it is pretty damn good, really. With a bit of suitable editing afterwards. So I don't like I like the standard GoPro colour from it very much. I prefer to record in like a flat profile and put a LUT on it. You can do that anyway with the other cameras I have now, to a greater or lesser degree. So the worst thing about the GoPros is from the start it's been bad at just like crashing inexplicably. You don't know it's crashed. It looks like it's running. It's got a red light on it, but it's not recording. And if you try and stop it recording, as you think, nothing happens, it just won't respond, so you have to pull the battery out. So I would say not trusted it, that's not what it is, because you can't rely on it. So if there isn't somewhere where you can see it, even then it's hard to tell really if it's working or not. So it works quite well as a dash cam like this, because you can see that. And of course, it's the nature of the camera that wherever you have it mounted, or however you have it mounted, you have to have it in a case or a frame or something, and that means that to pull the battery out, you've got to get it out of the case, and that touches on another issue, which is the poor battery life. Like, if you record in 1080p, it might run for 3/4 of an hour. On the 2.7K linear, which is quite nice, you'll struggle to get more than half an hour, and if you try to record 4K, more like 20 minutes, and I don't really use the 4K. And whereas the Drift Ghost, you can have a little adapter that runs like a power supply, and you can run the mic at the same time. But that won't work on this. I think there may be a way to do it with a special adapter that costs you about 50 quid or something. I'm just not going to do that though. But anyway, I have bought for it. I bought a swivel mount, because it's often annoying. You mount it in one particular place for whatever reason, then you want to turn it to the side to look at something at the side of the road or whatever. Or perhaps even look at yourself to say something. So, and that's just not easy to do with most of the mounts I have, without sort of making them come loose. So I've got a swivel mount, which was about 3 quid, maybe a bit more, 3.50 or something, delivered. And then rightly or wrongly, I've got a remote control for it, and it's not the original GoPro one, which again, needs to say is outrageously expensive, about 50 or 60 quid. It's a, I don't know what you call it, not a patent part, but it's like a third party one, and it's about £25, something like that. And that's going from China though, so it'll be a while. It'll be at least 10 days, more like a couple of weeks I would think. To be fair, they're usually quite good, especially from Hong Kong. Seems quiet today. Some quite nice colours here. It's a bit more sheltered down here. But Guisborough's a funny place. It is obviously not as wild and windswept as at home. A couple of weeks ago we had for our first bit of snow. There was more in Guisborough than there was at home with us. We just had a big shower, but it's not. You feel like you go down to Guisborough, but we're still at about 500 feet here. You notice it when you come up from the coast, you go quite a long way up, your bank it's called. And being just by the Cleveland Hills, it often seems to get a lot of showers. This is actually the first time I've been shopping since the clocks went back at the end of October. So I'm very aware that it's going to be dark soon after 4. We often aren't hardly back until nearly 4. If you don't get a move on, we am a bit earlier, it's only a bit after 1:30. The thing is, like, obviously it's rather horrible when you get these short windows, but there is a nice side to it. It's nice to be able to just not feel you should be doing stuff by 5 o'clock because it's dark, and to have the house with the fire on, radiators running and toasty warm. And also, I mean, it's not really all that long a time for you're at the shortest day. So the earliest. Why is there so many camper vans about? The earliest sunset will be. Something about 17th of December, so that's not far away at all, is it? A bit more than a month. Quite sure what's happened to their thing at the front. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It looks so impressive, but it's only got crappy wood above. The next pub on the corner's been shut for ages. That's an odd. Looks vacant, doesn't it? It's very, very